Education Nation. Harry here. We are just probably working harder than ever for reasons unknown to me, but that's a whole nother story. Every day is busy. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I just get to the end of the day and it's barbecue time. We're back with Alex Fields out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's Success Computer Consulting. Sir, you staying home? You keeping it safe?
Yep, I sure am. I even got like my mother-in-law makes these like masks, so I've been wearing this custom Batman mask when I go out for errands and stuff.
There you go. Well, hey, this month, we've covered your book. We've covered the updates to the book, folks. You can see that in some prior interviews. But this month, I want to talk about some outreach your company does. You have June 24th and 25th, and I have the information down below in the blog. You have a Microsoft 365 technical user group on the 24th and an end user group on the 25th. It's Microsoft Teams. It's 9 a.m. I'm assuming Central, 9 a.m. Central time. And let's start with the technical user group. What's the story? What is your company doing?
Well, we've had these user groups going for a while now. We do one meeting per quarter, and we do both the technical and an end user side. And interestingly, we still get some of the same people showing up to both. So we'll get technical people and non-technical people at both events. Sure. And they kind of interesting to see that some people are actually kind of interested in seeing what's behind the scenes a little bit. But the idea was that we would, give some background and some information for administrators, IT administrators, and then as well that like on how to implement like a feature set or how to roll out a new set of governance features or something that impacts user experience, and then also show the user experience side of that the next day or within a couple of days, so that you can kind of give a little bit of training, like a light training, if you will, to both, or at least an overview. And if they're interested, obviously we have other resources we can point them to and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of, people really like that interactive event. I mean, I publish a lot of material. I think there's always going to be a place for long form. Obviously, some people aren't going to pick up a book and read it, like it's much easier sometimes to get like a video or to go to one of those in-person events. And typically they are in person, but of course things are a little different right now. So I believe our next ones are going to be, purely online.
Yeah, here's been my experience with what you're suggesting, and the MSP audience watching our interview should take this to heart. Historically, and I did this in the 90s when I was carrying the bag as a consultant before we were called resellers and MSPs, and you'll recall my niche was small business servers. So Microsoft allows its partners to come in and use their facilities to do little lunch and learns or brown bag meetups or whatever. It used to be at the Microsoft offices, and maybe it still is, but then they pivoted to the learning room at the Microsoft store. So you could go rent the little, or not even rent, you could use the little learning area at the back. Yep. And that's how I grew my career. And one fine day, my boss, who was on his way out, and we were kind of debriefing, he was leaving, I was in a large accounting firm running the network consulting division. And for one fine day, I stopped doing it. For some reason, I think I got too busy. I was too successful, and I stopped doing the little lunch and learns. And sure enough, you start to see over time a degradation of your sales, right? Your biz dev, if you stop it. And so lesson learned was A, it works, B, consistency.
Sure.
Got to keep doing it.
Actually, now, we actually, you mentioned that here in Minneapolis, we have a Microsoft Technology Center. We're one of the cities that has that. And so that's where our events are typically held. And they have really nice event rooms, like, dual screens that come down, and you can do like the Teams live events with really high definition cameras and stuff. It's really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, that consistency is key. And, when we started, I think we started this up maybe a couple years back, but it was kind of funny because we actually had a kind of what spurred it, honestly, is we had a client who was, as our contract was coming up, they're thinking about moving to another provider, and we didn't know why. And they had like been interviewing some of their people, and they said they're gonna have another provider do their 365 migration. We're like, well, we have awesome people in 365. Like, why and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, they didn't know. that we had people who were really well versed in 365. And so we're like,
Yeah.
we got to make sure that we're staying on top of this and the marketplace knows that we have expertise in this area. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right.
No, it's no, I'm just glad to see you're doing it. And Alex, like I said, I put the link down in the blog below. So if there's people who are interested in your, and is that okay, by the way, if we had some of the SMB Nation attend your virtual event, even if they're not in Minneapolis, is that okay?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think, the first day is the day that the technical user group, I'll be leading that. And I believe Vanessa will probably be leading the end user group. I might still like be a co-presenter or something in there, but yeah, it'll be interesting for all parties.
All right, my friend. Well, I'll tell you what, thanks for being one of our consistent analysts. And we'll talk to you next month. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Jenny.